All right, Seattle hockey fans, it is a game day. That means I'm going to tell you everything you need to know before the Seattle Kraken hit the ice for tonight's game against the Buffalo Sabres. That and a few other nuggets, including how to vote our favorite Kraken players into the All-Star game through the fan vote. Coming up on today's Tuesday game day episode of Locked On Kraken.
You are Locked On Kraken, your daily podcast on the Seattle Kraken, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
We are the Seattle Kraken.
What's cracking, Seattle hockey fans? Welcome to another episode of Locked On Kraken. I'm probably going to hold this microphone like this. I've got a little bit of a unique setup. Where in the world is Erica L. Ayala? I'll tell you that in a minute. But first, let me thank you for making Locked On Kraken a part of your daily destination. We, of course, are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, and we bring you your favorite team, at least in the NHL, every single day. We have a great show, and we are so grateful to our sponsors for bringing this to you. We'll talk about a few of them, but right now I want to let you know about Game Time. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Game Time. Make sure you download the Game Time app and you create an account and use code LOCKED ON, LOCKEDON, for $20 off your first purchase. We'll get into that a little bit more as our show continues. Again, if we are meeting for the first time, my name is Erica L. Ayala. I am the host of Locked On Kraken. I'm also a contributor at CBS Sports for women's sports, just generally overall, including, of course, the PWHL. And I also cover the NHL. I have some fun stuff in the works. I got a lot of great stuff while I was in Seattle for the Winter Classic, and I'm happy to turn some of that into some writing and some stories that you can read along throughout the year. But we had a great time at the Winter Classic. The Seattle Kraken are rolling along, 10-game point streak, 7-game winning streak on the line tonight against the Buffalo Sabres. So let's get you ready for game day. Now, at the time that I am recording this, the Seattle Kraken are just about to hit the ice for morning skate, but don't worry, in the second segment, I'll get you some notes and quotes because, we have this fun thing that we do called post-production. So I'll get you some of those notes and quotes. But let's talk about the game day in Buffalo. I'm actually in New York State, but I'm downstate. The Seattle Kraken are upstate, but hopefully I will catch them on the road. I've mentioned that a time or two. If you're one of our insiders and if you watched my live stream, that was a little bit of a test run of some software I hope to use, then I plan to catch up with the Kraken on the road. But let's talk about this game. Oh, that's fun. It's a little different overlay. So that's not working the way I wanted it to. But don't fret if you're watching on YouTube. I can read this out to you. No big deal. The Seattle Kraken are taking on, as I've mentioned a time or two, the Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres right now are 17-19-4. I mentioned it the other day, but let's not mince words here. This is a game on paper that the Seattle Kraken should be able to win because we are 16-14-9 at 41 points. Now, is this a great differential? No. Our success has come of late, whether you want to say it's Joey Decord, whether you want to say it's André, Burakovsky, whether you want to say it's the amazing third line, you're probably right. Either way, the Seattle Kraken are trending in the right direction, and I do think that we have a strong team that can beat the Buffalo Sabres. Not to mention that the Seattle Kraken are perfect against the Sabres. The Sabres are the only team the Kraken have never lost to, per Seattle Kraken PR, with Seattle going 4-0-0 against Buffalo since the start of the 2021-22 season. Listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I will never forget that toe pick, right? I wish I had the video. I don't have it on me. I did check. But toe pick after that empty netter. Come on. That's one of my favorite moments covering the Seattle Kraken. I mean, it's not like super high on the list, but it's always something I'll remember. It's like adding insult to injury. And the Seattle Kraken have had success against the Buffalo Sabres. Let's not give them any hope, especially because not only do we have a streak against the Sabres on the line, but as I mentioned, 10-game point streak. We also have 6 wins in the bag. If we win tonight, that would be 7 straight games, our longest winning streak of this season, and within reach of our longest in franchise history. I talked about that a little bit yesterday, but I kind of want to see it, fam. That winning streak last year felt so good. Similarly to last year, or similarly to this year, last year I was able to catch the Seattle Kraken on the road. Road Warriors was what we were talking about last year. And I got to catch that game in Boston. Oh, that was a great game. Ellie Tolvanen, just a magic man. We've got Tomas Tatar now. André Burakovsky is back. We've talked about, once again, Dave Hakstol is going to have some tough decisions to make when it comes to the roster.
Schwartz is ready to go. He adds, some very important elements for us, obviously, on the ice in terms of the things he does, but also just his leadership and his experience in the dressing room as well once we get to this time of year.
So will he be back tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why in the second segment, I'm going to leave some time to edit that so that I can give you an update, because I'm recording this before the Seattle Kraken hit the ice for morning skate. But by the time you listen to this or watch this on YouTube, hi YouTubers, you will know what I know as far as what Dave said to media or didn't say. We know we're not getting a starting goalie. At least Dave's not going to say it, but we can deduce some things. I'm going to deduce that it's going to be Joey Daccord. And I feel like that's a pretty strong move. Speaking of Joey Dax, I see a lot of you using the hashtags on social media trying to get Joey Daccord to the All-Star game. I think that's brilliant. I would love to see Joey Daccord go in by the fan vote, for the All-Star game. So if you are on social media, make sure you use hashtag NHL All-Star Vote and mention the player that you want to get to the All-Star game. So you use hashtag NHL All-Star Vote, hashtag, in this case, Joey Daccord, or hashtag Jared McCann. Make sure you don't use hashtag Father Canner because they might not know what you're talking about. Or hashtag Vince Dunn. I also mentioned hashtag Adam Larson. I don't really know that he wants to go to the All game. I don't think that he's one of our top 3 candidates likely to be voted in by the fan vote. I think Joey has a really good chance. I really, really do. I might be mildly upset if he doesn't make it. But either way, that's the formula. You can also vote online, but you can go to nhl.com/vote. But you can also vote on social media, and it's kind of fun. So I think it's pretty fun to see a fan vote overall. I kind of alluded to this, but what is an All-Star game really supposed to be about? What is an All-Star game? Who is it for? I mean, at least 50% of it is for the fans. So yeah, the fans should get a vote. Anyway, I digress. Let's talk about Buffalo. No Buffalo love for Buffalo, at least from the Seattle Kraken perspective. We want to get this win. Now, is it the end of the world if the 10-point streak, the winning streak, or even our winning streak against Buffalo comes to an end? No, not the end of the world. But if you could keep it going, let's just keep it going. I think we should just do that, right? We know we need wins. We got ourselves in a little bit of a hole. I don't think we want to go back to, we might have to win a 1-2 point game down the road on this road trip, 2-week road trip. That's going to happen. So if you can get a little bit of breathing room, a little bit, I don't want to say too relaxed, but get some confidence. The Seattle Kraken haven't been on the ice for a while. They had some rest. They had some practice time. So this is a good opponent going into a road stretch. Some people talk about trap games and stuff like that. Of course, Hack doesn't believe in trap games, so we don't have to worry about that. It's like it doesn't even exist. Also, here's the real. Here's the real. Although I'm talking about these stats, the winning streaks, even the streak against Buffalo, that means nothing if the team doesn't show up. Now, there are versions of the Seattle Kraken, even at points this season, where it was a little bit frightening to try and decipher what kind of Kraken team was going to come out of the gate, especially after being on a break. I'm not worried about that. I might regret saying that on tomorrow's episode, but I guess we'll find out. I'm just not worried about that right now. But I'm going to tell you why, because there's a way that the Kraken have to play in order to win, or at least it's the formula, it's the trend that I'm seeing right now. And I don't think we should worry about a bad start because we can't afford a bad start. A few other things that I think are important to know when it comes to the game against the Buffalo Sabres, but also this next coming game for the Seattle Kraken. Per the Seattle Kraken PR, they do a great job sending these notes. And for Locked On Kraken insiders, I'm going to start sending these notes to you as part of our text message messaging service, because I want to talk about these things. How many of these trends do we keep during the game? What are we falling by the wayside? All of these things. But one that I liked, the Kraken have only allowed 13 goals against in their current 9-game point streak. 13 goals during our point streak. And we've talked about this. Dave Hakstol talked about it at the Winter Classic, and I'm so gutted. I still haven't found that video of him saying that the reason this team is successful and that they've had to, they're successful, but in a different way than last year's team, is because they're focused on defense. They are focused on defense, people. Oh my word. Bless his heart, but in the good way, not in the Southern way. If you know, you know. I loved hearing it. I love seeing it on a night-to-night basis. Only allowed 13 goals in their current 9-game point streak per Seattle Kraken PR. We talked about it yesterday. That goal differential, it's starting to climb down, I guess. We're getting closer to even, and I think that's going to be critically important. Yes, Joey Decord has been huge for us, and we're starting to clean up a little bit, not just in dire straits defensive situations, but we're doing a better job pushing our opponents to the perimeter. I feel like there's a lot of alliteration there, and I'm here for it. So we're going to talk about some players to watch. I'm going to give you the odds per our friends at FanDuel in just a moment. And like I said, I'm going to take you to the notes and quotes, everything you need to know from what the Seattle Kraken said at morning skate today in Western New York. All that and more coming up on today's Tuesday game day episode of Locked On Kraken. Today's episode of Locked On Kraken brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Now, listen, I know some of you Washington fans are hurting a little bit. If you are, my advice is do not look at Everett Fitzhugh's social media. Jokes aside, the NFL season's wrapping up. We still have hockey. We still have NBA. But there's still time to catch some of the greatest deals with America's #1 sportsbook. And that, of course, is FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Here are a few things you need to know. The FanDuel app, super easy to use, super simple to find what you need. There's even a new find bets, or you can find new bets, with the Explore tab. And you can make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, the best way to find the most popular parlays. And I already did some of the work for you if you're looking at the lines for tonight. The Seattle Kraken plus 1.5 in tonight's matchup against the Sabres. We see that the line for the Sabres is a minus 1.5. The money line minus 108 for the Kraken, minus 111. Ones across the board for the Sabres, as I sometimes like to say. Over for the Seattle Kraken, 6.5. Under for the Sabres, 6.5. So make sure that you head over to our friends at FanDuel. Visit fanduel.com/lockedon to make your first bet a layup or a clapper, whatever works for you. FanDuel, the official partner of the National Football League. And thanks as always for making Locked on Kraken a part of your daily destination. Erica Ayala here, your host with the most energy. I think I could at least say that. I have a lot of energy. That's because I'm fired up. It is a game day, folks. And as promised, I'm going to take you over to what the Seattle Kraken, what they're saying, what they're feeling, what we're thinking about tonight's game. Let's hear from Dave Hakstol. And if we have some player interviews, I'll drop those for you as well. I'll see you on the other side.
Berkey's progression has been good. It's always a process coming back into the lineup, especially when you're out of the lineup as long as he has been and frequently as he has been over the last year. So his progression's been good. We're going to see that continue to rise, and being able to get on the score sheet always helps a good offensive player in his mindset and in his confidence, and we want to see that continue to grow for Berkey. He's a guy that does things at high speeds. He's a guy that is able to do things through traffic. So for him, it's timing. It's timing with the puck. It's his feel. It's his ability to feel connected with everything that he's doing, and that's the biggest thing that we're seeing.
I mean, it's been a couple of days, but we've been having a couple of good practices, high pace practice and game-like situations. So we're just gonna continue the way we've been playing and do the same thing over and over.
What's been the message to you about how you can continue to help your team right now as you kind of get reworked back into the lineup?
Just continue like I have. I mean, I think I've been skating good and making plays, and I want to still take steps and make more plays and skate more and be more creative and things like that. But I think from these 3 games, it's been pretty good. I mean, I feel comfortable in my game, and I'm just gonna take it day by day and keep working hard.
He works very hard at it away from games, and that's something that through game action will continue to smooth out for him. So that's really when we look at Berkey, that's the way he creates. That's the way he becomes very effective. So we're looking for those things in him. Our commitment to the defensive side of the game has been really what has become the MO of our group coming out of the room and on a nightly basis. But to combine with that, as we get to the middle portion of the schedule and we get into the second half, the confidence that we have in our ability to score throughout the depth of our lineup is going to be a major factor for us. So it was nice to see that be a part of some of our our recent wins, and it's an area that we'd like to see keep growing. The depth of our group is something that we really believe in, and we need to to have that come to fruition through both the defensive side of our play as well as on the offensive side of our game.
Mentioned it at the top of the show. Today's episode brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Now, if you're an everydayer, an OGer, I freaking love Game Time. I love that I can get last minute tickets at a great deal. I love that I can use the app. I don't have my phone on me in this little booth right now, but I would pull it up for you as I've done in the past and show you that you can take a look at your seats. And that's exactly what I did when I went to an M's game with a good friend of mine, Laura. We love to sit on the third base line. I love to sit third base wherever I go, whatever park I'm at. And we were able to take a look at the seats before we purchased them to make sure it was in the right section, in the right area, make sure it was everything that we wanted. But that's just what I like. There are some other things you need to know about Game Time. Killer last minute deals, all in prices. The price you see before checkout is the price that you are charged, and that's it. Then there, of course, is the best price guarantee. Same event, same section, same row. If you find a better deal than Game Time, they give you 110% of your purchase. Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. Between the Game Time guarantee, view from the seats, and so many other things, you can buy tickets in seconds and you're done. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, go create that account, redeem Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guarantee. All right, Seattle Kraken fans, how are you feeling? Let me know in the comments. Let me know on social media. How are you feeling today? I'm feeling pretty good. I'm ready for some Kraken hockey. I also selfishly am not always on the same time or in the same time zone as the Kraken, and I will be tonight. So I'm super excited about that. But I'm also excited because, again, this is a winnable game. Arguably, this is a game that the Seattle Kraken should win. Now, I do feel that times, certainly throughout our history and little twinges of time in this season, the Seattle Kraken have not necessarily played the way they needed to play and have allowed their opponent to dictate not just the pace of the game or the cadence of the game, kind of like the attitude or the moxie, as we sometimes say in New York, the moxie. They I just want them to attack the game. I want them to attack the game. That's what Coach Hack has been saying. And I think the Seattle Kraken have let that seep into not just their minds, but into the body, right? The muscle memory. Attack the game. And that's why I've got 3 keys to the game. 3 keys to the game versus our Buffalo Sabres friends or foes. Keep the streak. Keep the streak. Whether you're talking the 4-0 record, whether you're talking the point streak, whether you're talking the win streak overall, keep the streak. Just keep the streak alive. Some athletes will tell you when you interview them that they're not really focused on that, and I don't think you want to overly focus on it, but it is a source of pride. Unbeaten through 9, 10. I feel like the number is always changing. I don't know. Unbeaten streak. Well, we've got the unbeaten streak. We've got the point streak. We've got the Buffalo streak. And then we've got some guys on the team that are just playing really great. For example, Yanni Gourde and Jared McCann enter tonight's game 2 and 3 points shy, respectively, of totaling 300 career points. I do think Yanni can get 2 points tomorrow. McCann, I would love if he got 3 points tonight, but I think he'll get that. Both of them will get that in the coming days. Vince Dunn recorded at least a point in each of his last 5 games. So, Bjorky, our all-star, enters the game having totaled 8 points in his last 9 games. However you see it, whatever tickles your fancy, keep the streak. Keep the streak. My second key to the game, take the lead. And this goes to what I was just talking about, but also looking at some of the numbers. I love looking at numbers. Where does our opponent fare when they score first, when their opponent scores first, when they're trailing, when they're leading, this, that, and the third. All of the numbers for Buffalo, if we either score first or take a lead into the corresponding period, we've got them. When an opponent scores first, the Buffalo Sabres, I know it's Sabres, I'm just having fun, thank you. The Sabres are 4-17-3. When they lead, they're 8-0-1. When the Sabres, aka Sabres, are trailing after the first period, they're 2-14-2. When they are leading, when they're leading after 2 periods, they're 12-0-1. You see what I'm? It's just sweep the leg. No, do not, please. Please, that was a joke. If that was a joke, do not sweep the leg. Metaphorically sweep the leg. Take the air out of their lungs. Decide the game definitively early and often. And that goes into key number 3, which is this has become my mantra for the Kraken this season. The 3 Fs. What are they? Say them loud and proud wherever you are, if you can do so safely and, without making a scene. You know them. You love them as much as I do. Fast, forechecking, and fun. Sometimes I mix the order just depending how I'm feeling. But we have to play fast. Use our speed in transition, our quick legs. I love it. And also speed is, for me, also just our thinking. Vince Dunn with some of his stretch passes that we've seen. Eberle just being so smart and level-headed. Breakaways. I want to see that. That's what I mean by fast. Forechecking. I feel like it speaks. I feel like it speaks for itself. We are a better team when we're forechecking. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it. I'll say it every dang day because it's true. And then fun. Things just felt a little dicey early in the season. I was feeling it. I'm sure you were feeling that I was feeling it. The guys were feeling it. When they started having fun, the Larson shirts, all of the fun little tchotchkes and things that they do, they're just reminding themselves that it's a game. It's a job, but it's also a game. Have fun with it, boys. Have fun with it. We're going to have fun watching. We're going to, get our jokes off on social media. We're going to have fun with it. And we hope they do too. We want to see a fun, fast, forechecking game, the 3 Fs. That is also a key to the success. Again, I don't want to get into the argument. Some of y'all, I get the feeling that you think I don't like or appreciate Burakovsky.
I know you've been asked this question a couple times.
Not the case. What I always say, though, is we cannot, and we have not ever been able to rely only on Berkey. Not only because he's been hurt a lot, but because he's one guy. He's one guy. We shouldn't rely on our goaltending as much as we do, but we do. But Joey's one guy, whoever is in there, Chris or Philip, one guy, Martin. Oh, Martin Jones. Soft spot in my heart. Not complete circle like Donato, but soft spot in my heart. You know what we do. We're coming to a close on today's episode. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to one another. And loud and proud we say tonight, hold fast, stay true, and let's go Kraken. I'll catch you on the next episode of Locked on Kraken. Peace out.